The average new car in America just crossed $50,000 for the first time ever. 50 grand. That's a down payment on a house in some parts of this country. And here's what should genuinely concern you. According to the two most respected automotive reliability studies in the industry, both released in early 2026, the cars rolling off assembly lines right now are measurably less dependable than the ones built 3 years ago. Let that settle for a second. You're paying more money than any generation of car buyer in history, and the product you're getting is statistically more likely to break. That's not my opinion. That's not some angry forum post. That's data from Consumer Reports and J.D. Power, organizations that have been tracking this stuff for decades. So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's going wrong, which brands and models are the biggest offenders, and most importantly, how to make sure you don't become the next person sitting in a dealer service bay, wondering what happened to that brand new car smell. And look, I want to be fair here. Not every new car is a disaster. Some brands are actually nailing it. We'll get to those too. But the overall trend, it's ugly. And you deserve to know about it before you sign on that dotted line. Let's start with the hard numbers, because this is where it gets real. J.D. Power released their 2026 US Vehicle Dependability Study in February. This is a massive survey. Over 33,000 original owners of 2023 model year vehicles reporting problems after 3 years of ownership. It's one of the most comprehensive snapshots of long-term reliability we have. The result? An industry average of 204 problems per 100 vehicles. That's the highest problem count recorded since J.D. Power redesigned this study in 2022. And the trajectory? It's been getting worse every single year for the past 3 years running. Think about what that means. Every year, automakers have more data, more computing power, more manufacturing technology, and the cars are getting less reliable, not more. Something in this equation is fundamentally broken. Now here's the number that really jumped out at me. The gap between the best and worst brands in this study is staggering. Lexus, sitting at the top, recorded 151 problems per 100 vehicles. Volkswagen, sitting dead last, came in at 301. That's basically double. You could buy two completely different ownership experiences depending on which badge is on the hood, and it gets worse for certain categories. Volvo, a brand people associate with safety and quality, came in at 296 problems per 100 vehicles. Land Rover at 274. Jeep at 267. These aren't small numbers. These are brands telling you, through their own customers' experiences, that something is seriously off. Now here's where the story takes an interesting turn. When most people think about car reliability, they think about engines, transmissions, things under the hood. But that's not where the biggest problems are in 2026. The number one problem category across the entire industry is infotainment. At 56.7 problems per 100 vehicles, it's more than double the second highest category, which is exterior issues at 27.5. More than double. And the single biggest complaint for the third consecutive year is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity. Your phone can't reliably talk to your car in 2026, after years of development and billions of dollars in R&D. Here's what makes this so frustrating. Nearly half of all infotainment problems come from just 4 issues: phone connectivity, built-in Bluetooth problems, wireless charging pad failures, and OEM app connectivity glitches. These aren't mechanical breakdowns that require an engine rebuild. These are software issues that make you want to throw your phone out the window on a Tuesday commute. And the over-the-air updates that were supposed to fix all of this. J.D. Power found that 40% of owners received a software update in the past year. Only 27% said it actually improved anything. 58% noticed zero difference. So you're getting updates that don't update anything. That's the state of automotive software in 2026. Look, I get it. Cars are complicated. They run more lines of code than early space missions. But when you're asking people to spend $50,000, the touchscreen shouldn't freeze when you shift into reverse. Bluetooth shouldn't drop your call every time you go over a speed bump. These are the basics, all right? This next section might save you thousands of dollars, so pay close attention. Consumer Reports published something in their 2026 reliability data that every single car buyer needs to hear. Their advice is blunt. If you want to avoid reliability issues, don't buy an all-new or redesigned model. That's not me saying it. That's Consumer Reports. And their data backs it up in a big way. Look at the Chevrolet Equinox and GMC Terrain, both redesigned for 2010-25. Their reliability ratings? Well below average. Owners are reporting fluid leaks and driveline problems on vehicles with barely any miles on them. The infotainment systems are rebooting at highway speeds. On brand new cars. The GMC Acadia, redesigned for 2024, and Consumer Reports predicts it to be one of the least reliable vehicles you can buy right now. More than 20 recalls. Almost 2,000 technical service bulletins from GMC. On one model, the Buick Enclave and Chevrolet Traverse, both redesigned for 2024, below average reliability scores. The Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, 11 recalls between mid-2023 and late 2025. Electrical system failures, power steering failures, engines refusing to restart. This is a vehicle that costs over $50,000 in many configurations. And here's what really gets me. Even the second year of a redesign isn't safe. Consumer Reports pointed out that the Mazda CX-70 and CX-90 remain unreliable in their second year. Same with the Cadillac Lyriq, the Chevy Blazer EV, and the Chevy Colorado. The pattern is unmistakable. When an automaker launches a brand new platform, a brand new design, you, the customer, become the beta tester. Your $50,000 purchase is their real-world quality control program. And that first year, sometimes even the second year, is when all the problems surface. Now let me be clear about something before I get into this next part. I'm not here to bash EVs. The technology is impressive. Some electric vehicles are genuinely fantastic. But the reliability data tells a story that EV enthusiasts need to hear. According to J.D. Power's 2026 study, plug-in hybrid electric vehicles are the least dependable powertrain type you can buy. Period. FHEVs came in at 281 problems per 100 vehicles. And that's after jumping 39 problems per 100 year-over-year. That's a massive spike. Battery electric vehicles aren't much better at 237 problems per 100. Even traditional hybrids, which have been the reliability success story of the past few years, saw their numbers climb to 213. Meanwhile, and this surprised even me, gas-powered vehicles actually improved slightly, dropping to 198 problems per 100. The least problematic powertrain in 2026 is the one that's been around for over a century. Consumer Reports' data tells a similar story. 13 of the 26 least reliable models across all brands are either an EV or a PHEV. Not a single traditional hybrid appears on that worst list. Think about that contrast. The Korean brands are a perfect case study. Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis share a critical electrical component across their EVs called the Integrated Charging Control Unit. When that component works, it's brilliant cost engineering. When it fails, you can lose battery power at highway speed. That's not an inconvenience, that's a safety issue. Now, there are bright spots. Tesla's Model Y and Model 3 have been climbing the reliability charts. Consumer Reports noted that problem rates for body hardware, paint, and electrical accessories on Teslas have decreased substantially. So it's not all doom and gloom. But the industry as a whole, EVs still have a reliability gap that buyers need to factor into their decision. Here's something that's going to sting if you recently financed a luxury vehicle. In J.D. Power's 2026 study, premium vehicles saw their problem rates jump 8 problems per 100 year-over-year, landing at 217 problems per 100 vehicles. That's the highest for premium brands since the study was redesigned. And here's the kicker. Premium brands now underperform mass-market brands in 7 out of 9 categories. Let me say that again. You're paying a $10,000 to $20,000 premium for a badge, and statistically, the car underneath it is less dependable than the mainstream alternative. The only 2 categories where premium brands perform better? Powertrain and seats. That's it. When it comes to features, controls, displays, driving experience, infotainment, the mass market vehicles are actually giving you fewer headaches. And the gap is widening. The delta between premium and mass market dependability hit 17 problems per 100 vehicles this year. That's not a rounding error. That's a trend. And it suggests that luxury automakers are cramming more technology into their vehicles without adequately testing it. All right, enough doom. Let's talk about who's actually building reliable cars, because the answer might give you some hope. Toyota reclaimed the #1 spot in Consumer Reports brand reliability rankings for 2026. And it wasn't close. 20 models scoring above average. The 4Runner leading the pack at 95 out of 100. The Camry, which stumbled after its redesign, has already bounced back to above average predicted reliability. The Tacoma followed a similar recovery arc. Even the Tundra, which had genuine growing pains with its new twin-turbo V6, has now reached average reliability. That's the difference. Toyota has problems. Every manufacturer does, but they fix them faster than almost anyone else. That's the engineering culture at work. Subaru grabbed the #2 spot with 7 above average models. Lexus took 3rd, with every single model scoring average or better. That's a perfect lineup, not one weak link. In the J.D. Power study, Lexus topped all brands for the 4th consecutive year at 151 problems per 100 vehicles. Buick, yes, Buick, came in 2nd at 160. Mini surprised everyone, jumping from 10th to 3rd at 168. And here's a detail that matters for practical shoppers. Consumer Reports noted that traditional hybrids continue to be the reliability champions. The Ford F-150 hybrid, the Kia Carnival hybrid, the Honda CR-V hybrid, the Subaru Forester hybrid, these are outperforming their gas-only counterparts in many cases while delivering better fuel economy. So the formula is clear. Established platforms, proven powertrains, manufacturers with a track record of fixing issues quickly. That's where reliability lives in 2026. So how do you navigate this mess? Here's what the data is telling us to do. First, and I cannot stress this enough, never buy the first model year of a redesign. I don't care how good the reviews look. I don't care how shiny it is on the showroom floor. The data is overwhelming. First-year redesigns consistently score significantly worse in reliability than established models. That's not a gamble worth taking. Second, favor carryover models. If a vehicle has been in production for 2 or 3 years without a major redesign, the manufacturer has had time to work out the kinks. The Toyota Corolla, the Honda CR-V, the Subaru Crosstrek. These are models that have been refined year after year. That refinement shows up in the reliability numbers. Third, check Consumer Reports' predicted reliability rating before you sign anything. Not after. Before. They survey hundreds of thousands of owners. The data is there. Use it. Fourth, and this is going to be controversial, seriously consider a 3 to 5-year-old used car instead of buying new. The average used car is sitting around $26,000 right now, roughly half the cost of a new one. A 2022 or 2023 model still has modern safety features, most of the tech you'd want, and the benefit of having its first-year problems already discovered and fixed. You skip the worst depreciation hit and get a vehicle with a known track record. Fifth, if you're buying an EV or plug-in hybrid, do extra homework. Check recall history specifically. Look at owner forums. Understand that the technology is still maturing, and some growing pains come with the territory. A traditional hybrid might be the sweet spot right now. Lower emissions, better fuel economy, and significantly better reliability than any plug-in option. And finally, don't let the badge fool you. Premium isn't equally reliable. The data says the opposite right now. A well-equipped Honda Civic or Toyota Camry will statistically outlast many luxury alternatives costing twice as much. Look, the automotive industry isn't broken beyond repair. There are genuinely excellent cars being built right now. But the overall trend line should concern anyone writing a check for a new vehicle in 2026. The data from both Consumer Reports and J.D. Power is pointing in the same direction. More technology is creating more problems. Redesigned models are being rushed to market before they're ready, And the software that's supposed to make our cars smarter is actually making them less dependable. But here's the thing. Now you know. You have the numbers. You have the names. You have the strategy to buy smart and avoid the landmines. Your hard-earned money deserves a car that works every single time you turn the key. I'm going to keep digging into this data as new studies drop throughout the year. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and know which models to trust and which to avoid, hit subscribe so you don't miss those breakdowns. And drop a comment. I'm curious. What's been your experience? Has your new car been rock solid, or have you been living in the service department? Let me know. I read every single one.